Hello, my name is Kevin Birch, and in the next few minutes I'm going to show you how to write and deliver a really good and fitting eulogy or funeral speech in such a way that you really honour the person's memory in the right way for you and for everyone else who's there at the event. And there are 6 simple steps which I'm going to talk you through, and when you use these it's going to make such a difference to you. Your first question might be, reasonably, how does this guy know about this? What are his credentials, qualifications? And I'll tell you, I've delivered and written and advised on hundreds of eulogies over the years. My first was in 1999 when my grandfather, Tom, died, and I was very close to him and I did the eulogy. And it was a tough, challenging experience, partly because there was nobody on YouTube then telling me how to do it. I had to make it all up as I went along. And it was also one of the most rewarding things I've ever done in my life. I'm so glad I did it. And everyone, the family, my friends, were all, his friends, were all very pleased that we had this very personal eulogy, which was really about Tom. And so I decided after that to train as a funeral presider so I could give other people the chance to have funerals for their loved ones that were really about the special person, because that's such an important thing. And so I've been in your shoes, I've been through this process, and in fact professionally I've delivered eulogies for every situation you can imagine, from yes, people who've lived long and active and happy lives, through to children, babies, victims of homicide, suicide, drug overdose, every situation. Now, we don't need to dwell on that, but what I'm saying to you is, whatever challenges you're facing right now, whatever things you're finding of concern and worry, I've been there, and I've done it, and I know how to deal with it, and I can share that with you. Now, I've brought all this together to let you know into a guide how to do a great eulogy. And if you go to eulogymadesimple.com, you can download a copy of the guide for less than the price of a bouquet of funeral flowers, really, for something that's so important. And let me go through the 6 steps now. Step 1 is take some time to yourself. So for example, remember that everybody who's going to be there wants you to do a great job. They're a very sympathetic and positive audience. They really appreciate what you're doing for them. Remember also that if you can talk to me now and tell me about the person and your memories and your experiences of them and what they were like, if you can say, Kevin, they were so-and-so, did this, did that, you can do that, you can do the eulogy. It's the same thing. Also, spend some time, whether it's sitting or walking around, whatever, where you really connect with your positive memories, your happy memories, the love, the good times that you shared, because then you'll be writing from the heart, which is a great place to be writing from. Step 2 is to decide the kind of eulogy you want to deliver. And what I mean by this is, do you want to do a short biography and start with the beginning of the person's life right through to the end and all the kind of major things they did, with some funny stories perhaps, or talk about how they met certain people, etc. Do you want to do that? Or do you want to do a more personal view about your experiences of this person and what they meant to you? Now, either is good, and some funerals have both. For example, my brother-in-law, who was 36 when he died, with 2 young children, I delivered the eulogy which talked about his family life from the very beginning all the way through. And a work colleague delivered a eulogy about their experiences of people worked with Anthony. And that worked really well. So decide which one you're going to do. Either's good, and then you're a big step of the way there. Step 3 is to collect then your building blocks. And what I mean by this is, if you imagine floating up and looking down on your life, there are all these kind of postcards which represent different episodes in your life lined up. Postcards or video clips even. And if you just to pick out the most important ones, the kind of key ones, the milestones, just gather those together, but you're doing it for the person you're writing about, obviously. Just gather them together, and that's it. And you can do that on your own, or you can ask for other people's input, of course. Step 4 then is to bring these building blocks all together. And generally, just by putting them in a chronological order, the order that they happened, and having sort of 3 or 4 minutes worth of talking about them, 4 or 5 minutes worth, that will be the main part of your eulogy. For an opening, you might thank people for coming, say what honour it is for you to be doing this, and that it's an emotional day, a sad day, but perhaps also a day for celebrating a life, if that's appropriate. And for a closing, you might sum up a person's qualities, say how much they'll be missed, and thank people who've helped in recent days and weeks and months, again if appropriate. And in chapters 3 or 4 of my guide, this whole process is mapped out for a guy called John, who grew up in the UK, moved to Canada, settled in California where he had his family, and all the building blocks are all assembled and then mapped out for his daughter giving a eulogy, a short biography, and a friend of his giving a personal view, and they're both there so you can see how the process works so easily. Step 5 then is to rehearse and refine. Read it through, read it out loud inside your mind, read it out loud to an empty room, maybe to someone supportive who's going to help you, or just to an empty room, and time it. And do this 4 or 5 or 6 times, because the first few times there'll be things you want to tweak and change and move around, and that's good. And as you get more used to it, just rehearsing it and practicing it will make it easier on the day. And there's some tips in the guide about how to borrow the techniques which athletes and top sports and show business performers use in terms of rehearsal. You can borrow those and actually to help make sure you do a really good job, still having appropriate emotion, but just that it goes really well for everyone's sake. And then step 6 is simply to deliver the eulogy. And if you prepared well, that can be actually very easy. Some tips are to have a backup person. Have 2 copies, one with you, one with a backup person, so that if there's any chance you might be too emotional, they can take over. Now, I've never known a backup person be needed. You won't need them, you will be able to do it. But having them there is going to take the pressure off you and you're going to feel better for it. So that's a good tip. Secondly, just sort of know how many people are going to be there, things like that, so that you're less surprised, there's no surprises on the day. And also just take a little bottle of water to the ceremony, so you can, during the service you can be drinking just to keep your mouth moist. These are some simple things, and there's other tips I'll give you too. Now, all this, as I said, is gathered together in the guide, plus there are emergency templates. So if you have to write a eulogy literally in half an hour, you can do it using my carefully crafted templates and know it is actually going to sound good and personal and no one's going to be able to tell. Secondly, there are lots of real eulogies written from the perspectives of sons, of parents, of brothers and sisters, of grandchildren, so written friends and colleagues, lots of different kinds of eulogies from real life that you can look at and learn from. Thirdly, there are some poems which you may want to include either in the eulogy or elsewhere in the service, because poetry can be a very evocative and healing thing which can really work well in a ceremony like this. And plus there's also some quotes, some humorous quotes about life and death and some profound and serious quotes about life and death. Again, depending on the situation and the circumstances, there'll be things there which will work for you. So in conclusion, what I want to say is that I honour you for what you're doing. I think you're doing a great thing which is going to make a real difference to a lot of people. And you will be able to do it. And this will be one of the most rewarding experiences of your life. And if you want to do a really great job, go to eulogymadesimple.com and you can download the first chapter for free, which outlines everything I've been talking about, and with the full guide for less than the investment in a bouquet of funeral flowers, you'll have all this information at your fingertips, step by step, in a concise way. You can just go through it and you'll do a great job. I wish you all the very best with it at this time, and bye for now.